Greetings MMA fans, I am Dave.
And I'm Joy.
Together, we are Fight Fuel MMA, and today we're coming at you with our 2-week review of the Pso-Rite. It's a product that we first heard about listening to a Joe Rogan podcast. Michael Chandler was talking about it, and it's designed to give you relief from a tight psoas. Predominantly, can also be used to loosen up a lot of different areas around the body.
Yes, the main purpose is to mimic that of elbow pressure, so you use that and gravity and your body weight, and that is supposed to release tension in the muscles. So, we've been using it for a couple weeks. Our initial reaction was unknown because we felt that we needed to use it more in order to see what the benefits really were, and we'll get into all that. So after a few weeks, we hope that removes the user error that was greatly involved with our first attempt. And what do we think now? So starting with the first category, which is what this product is named after, the Psoas. After a few weeks of using it, what do you think?
So the first and foremost exercise you do with this is a psoas release. You can do that either all at once, laying down on the tines, both sides of your psoas muscle, or you can do what I started doing, which is using one tine at a time. You can prop your elbows and your feet to use the right amount of pressure for your psoas, and I do find that it definitely did loosen up my psoas muscle, so I'm happy with it.
For me, this worked. I pulled my psoas so bad a week ago about, and this works. It took me only a few times of using it to figure out where I need to apply the pressure, where exactly I need to be, to pinpoint the muscle spasms that I was having. When I pulled my psoas, I mean, you guys are all here, you've pulled your psoas before, I'm assuming. You know what it feels like, and it takes a while to go away. You have to see a specialist sometimes, like a physical therapist or a chiropractor, and you pay the money and blah, blah, blah. I was able to get about 90% better in about a day and a half. I couldn't believe it. Now, I did use this in combination with pinpointing certain areas. That is one thing that is a little bit of a downfall to the design, that it isn't small enough to get the more precise areas, but it definitely improved the area, I would say 90%. And then I had to go in just with like my hand just to get the last like 10% release in my psoas. So 10 out of 10 for psoas relief for me. On to lower back. What did you think?
So I approached the lower back exercises on this cautiously because I have a couple herniated discs in my lower back. As it turns out, this didn't do anything to harm my back, which I was kind of worried about, but it didn't really release my back all that much. I haven't noticed any great change one way or the other after using this for a couple weeks on the back.
Yes, I agree. Granted, I don't really have any back problems. I don't really have a lot of back pain. So maybe I'm just not the audience for it, but I didn't really notice one way or another after using it any sort of difference. Moving on, the hip release.
The hip release was my favorite exercise that I did with the Pso-Rite. I'm very tight through the hips and the top of the glutes, and using this on the hips and glutes was incredibly painful, but it was the good kind of pain that lets you know you are doing something right. And actually, in terms of pain relief, that was the predominant area I noticed from this. It loosened up my hips, loosened up my glutes. I'm a fan of this device for working those areas.
Yes, I agree. We both initially connected with the hip release exercise immediately. It was the easiest one to figure out and the one that we saw the most promise in. I still feel the same way. I still feel that it does help open up the hips, and yeah, very happy about it. Definitely a great tool for that. Moving on, the shoulder release. We were not fans of the shoulder release as the one that was shown on the card. So what do you think about it now after using it for a few weeks?
I think it's a pretty useless exercise. I don't notice any improvement in my shoulders. It just seems awkward, tough to line up, and for me, that exercise just doesn't work at all. So I'm not going to continue doing it.
Yeah, the exercise that was on the card for the shoulder, the positioning, I didn't really find that it did anything. I didn't notice any benefit. It was kind of awkward. Didn't really like it. I still feel the same way. However, I modified the positioning of it, and I was able to get some muscle groups right here that I have a lot of problems with, because I have some shoulder issues. So the surrounding muscle groups all have some issues with, where I need some serious pressure. And Pso-Rite to the rescue again. That I cannot recommend enough. If you have a specific shoulder pain, like I have a small tear in my labrum in my shoulder, so when I use my shoulder a lot, the surrounding muscles will tighten up and it is extremely painful. If you have a problem like that, I recommend this for that specific problem. It helped me tremendously. And moving on, the calf release is something that I was pretty much only doing. Did you even try it?
I tried the calf release. The problem that I ran into was because of genetics. It's a genetic thing. I have small calves and there's nothing I could do about it. The problem that I ran into was the Pso-Rite is too big to work my calves properly. Now, if they designed a Pso-Rite for guys with small calves, like maybe half the size of this, then maybe I could get some benefits out of it. But listen, Pso-Rite, we're out here too, guys with small calves. You need to, make that model a little smaller, all right? Thanks.
Beautiful. I was able to use this for my calf muscles with the change in exercises that we've been doing. We've been doing a lot of running. I've been doing a lot of running. I've been doing a lot of HIIT exercises and jumping and those types of exercises that burn your calves like crazy. This works for that pain, that really sore, like jump rope, squat jacks, jumping jacks type pain, like running pain. Definitely recommend. So I was looking online for other exercises and I found that you can do shin conditioning with this Pso-Rite. I am not brave enough to try the shin conditioning yet, but Dave did. What do you think?
All right, I tried the shin conditioning. Now, when I think shin conditioning, I think Muay Thai fighters, kickboxers. When I was younger, I trained Kung Fu, and one of the guys I trained with had done shin conditioning, and his shins were just calcified triangles. When he would kick you, your leg would go numb, you were done for the round, the day, whatever. So you can't do that kind of shin conditioning with this. What you can is rub alongside the shin bones. You could kind of grate the shin bone themselves if you want. I gave it a shot. You could maybe loosen up the front of the shins, but I don't think this is the tool you need if you're looking to start a career in Muay Thai, kickboxing, or lethwei.
But it's something that you can get like
Allegedly.
a little bit of a benefit. Jury's out. We're not too sure yet. So after using this for a few weeks, did you notice in general, increase in mobility?
I noticed a slight increase in mobility. Nothing drastic. I certainly didn't lose any mobility or range of motion, but I think a real noticeable mobility increase might be something that would come about with months of using this device, not 2 weeks. So, look, if in 6 months, suddenly I can get into a full split or do a back bend or something, we can make a 6-month review, and I'll say this thing is great for mobility increase. As of right now, too early to tell.
Yes, I agree. For long-term, in general mobility, a few weeks isn't really going to give us a picture of what it can actually do over time, obviously. So that would be something that we would need to do over the course of a few months. However, short-term mobility increase, as far as when you have an injury and you use it.
It fixed your psoas.
Yeah, it fixed my psoas. So for like short-term, like, I pulled my psoas really bad. I can't really move in certain ways without being like, ugh. So that helped, and it literally fixed in like a day and a half. Like I said, craziness. So that with that, mobility increase, 2 thumbs up from me. Pain relief. Did you notice any sort of pain relief over these few weeks?
No, I don't think it really gave me any pain relief from what I was hoping it would, which is a sore and stiff lower back. I was hoping that magically, like, my psoas would release and a lot of my back pain would go away. That hasn't been the case. But again, my back has been bad for years. It's always an issue. So I think if I'm going to see pain relief after using this, it's going to be something that's going to come down the road. So I'll keep using it. And like I said, maybe in 6 months, I'll be on here talking about how Pso-Rite is the revolutionary product for fixing back pain. I don't know, but we'll see.
For me, pain relief, yes, it does relieve pain. Short term, for injuries, for like when I pulled my psoas, when my calves are sore, when my hips are tight, when I have that shoulder pain. It's definitely a pain relief tool in that sense. It's not a go-to pain relief, but it is something that I'll use in conjunction with whatever else I'm using at that time. Overall, do you recommend it?
All right, closing thoughts. I think if you have a few bucks lying around and this is something you've been interested about, it is effective. I wouldn't recommend against getting it. I think in certain cases, it's the perfect tool. And if I'm breaking it down rationally, when Joy pulled her psoas, she might have had to go to a chiropractor or a physical therapist like 3-4 sessions, like I had to do a couple years ago when I hitched up my psoas. That would have cost 4 times what we spent on this. So, in the right circumstances, it can save you money. I think it's a good tool. I'm glad I have it. I don't know what your money situation is, but yeah, I recommend getting it.
Yeah, like I said, for any sort of mild pull, something like that, where you can avoid going to a physical therapist and you can just do it at home, especially with the way things are nowadays, it is key. So I guess it saves you money in the long run. I definitely recommend this. If you are the type of person that likes to do home remedies and DIYs and stuff like that, definitely recommend.
If you enjoy excruciating pain, 2 thumbs up.
Yes, but they do recommend only to go to a 5 on the pain scale when you're using this, so keep that in mind.
Yeah.
So thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys are interested in getting this, we got ours on Amazon. We'll link it down below. Again, I would say if you're thinking about it, you have the extra money, you're an extremely active person, and you do pull your psoas sometimes, you get these aches and pains, you're a tense person, something to consider.
Yeah, there we go. All right. If you found this video useful, give us a like. Leave a comment, subscribe to our channel. If there's something you want us to review, shout it out at us in the comments below, and we'll give it a review. Also, hope you enjoyed this. All right, guys, signing out.
Thank you.